So we're here in Clovis, California, and we just finished installing this Rinnai 180S tankless water heater. They had a tankless water heater before, and it started leaking, about 15 years old, so we just replaced this one. We started out at the wall right here. We replaced the piping coming out of the wall, so the hot and cold nipples, those are new. And then some 3/4 90s, two more nipples pointing down to brand new ball valves. Those are Watts full port quarter turn ball valves. So off and on, hot and cold, and we just do that just so we can get the water back on, hot and cold. Sometimes the cold pushes over through the hot and you get water spraying out here. So anyways, I got the ball valves in, and then we made a transition to copper, so we got two dielectric unions here, and then hard pipe all the way down. So on the cold side, cold water comes in, comes down, and back behind there you have a AquaPure scale inhibitor. It's got the stainless steel T right there. It screws in and got the date on it, so every 6 months you just want to, sorry about the bumping, shut that valve off, shut this cold valve off right here. It'll isolate it, unscrew it, put a new one in, put the date on it, and so every 6 months you want to replace that. So it comes over cold, copper into brass, solid brass. Got your isolation valves. These are Nort's flush valves, so plenty of videos online to show you how to use these. But basically the cold in, hot out, these valves get shut down, so turn water off on the hot and the cold, and then these get opened here, straight down, those open on both sides, and you put your hoses here and here. Vinegar goes in, vinegar comes out. So what these do is isolate the rest of the home so that the vinegar doesn't go back down into the house, and that the vinegar doesn't come out of the hot side and go into the house. So it just isolates everything beyond the tank, so it only goes in the tank. So these get opened up, hot and cold, and these get closed, the bigger ones right there, hot and cold. So anyways, that's piped in. We did go ahead and upsize the piping. They've got a 1/2 inch line down below that's coming out of the wall. I'm not sure if it's 3/4 and then a bullnose T, half, 3/4. It's a full half. I don't know. All I know is what was in here was 165,000 BTU unit. This is 150,000, so it's less. It is propane. However, that line is probably undersized. It's firing, it's working, but it's not a part of the contract to run a dedicated line over to here. So what we did do, we put the correct ball valve on, 3/4, a little 3/4 90, and a full 3/4 supply line. This will cover up to 300,000 BTUs, this 3/4 supply. The one they had in there probably worked fine for the unit, but anyways, we just, from our point of connection, we just like to go big. So that's installed, the gas line, relief line's back in, relief valves in. So everything's hard piped over. Brass, same thing with the hot side, comes down, makes a transition to brass nipple, brass 90, or to copper, back up, union. So that's in. Venting is in. Intake air in the building because there's a laundry room, so plenty of intake air. Exhaust, we just took it around the top over there and out over the top of the door, and then turned hard right outside the door to get away from the door. That's the exhaust right there. We have a bonnet up on the old venting going up there is a bonnet, so we didn't want to go up there and try and remove the roof flashing, put a new flashing in, and then be responsible for the roof up there, so we just abandoned that. So again, Navian 180S, intake air, exhaust. It's got the flush valves on it already, so that's good. The scale inhibitor per contract. Everything, the transitions from iron pipe to copper have the dielectric union, so that's good. Copper to brass is perfectly fine. They flow well together. Full-size gas line. And the last thing is the condensate line. Had a hard time getting this out because these are in the way. Washer and dryer, and a stack full of stuff. We want to mess with it too much, so what we did do, went ahead and found a nice spot up high, dumped it down, took it along the back wall, and we were able to scoot out some of this. We scooted this out of the way, slid back in there, drilled a hole in the wall, and then came out here, and you can see it dumps out right there. Not pretty. I didn't have another cover plate for out here. You could certainly go over to Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, they make split escutcheons. It would be probably a 3/4 IPS, and I'll show you that. Those are the same things you have on the hot and cold water coming out of the wall. The escutcheon, it splits open and it closes down, and that'll cover up this kind of ugliness right here. Main thing is that's chock full of caulking on the inside just to fill the hole. On the outside, that's pure silicone. So just in the event you get any water, you got pretty good overhang, about 2 foot overhang up above, but in the event you get any water on this wall, it's sealed, so that's good. We did seal the top of our little bracket down here as well, because we drilled 2 holes in the wall right there for mounting. And so if water rolls down, it rolls off there, so you're pretty good. Got a nice little strap here, condensate points out of the way so it's not dripping down on the wall. So not the prettiest installation, unfortunately, but you know, we do what we can while we're here. And so back inside, you can see these are the discussions that I was talking about right there on the wall. They just split open and you can just cover it up, so it makes it look a little nicer. You could even put one on the inside if you want. I just didn't have any, didn't bring them out, and you could put one back there as well. So that would be a 1/2 inch IPS split escussion. Outside probably a 3/4 at least, because there's a fitting there, so it's quite a outside diameter is quite a bit larger than just a pipe. So anyways, that is it. Everything looks good here. We've tested out. We've got plenty of hot water. We've got it at 125 right now. Ran the tub, ran the faucets. Got a lot of debris in the lines, so get the aerators cleaned out. One of them was fused in, couldn't get it out, but we did clean out one of them. Tub's got really hot water, so that's good. And outside of that, this installation is done.